What's up, everybody? Welcome to CFP Talks. My name is Joe Nissim, and with me, as always, is my main man, Mr. David Fuchs. He's an
Hey,
he's an all white angelic. He's coming angelic Fridays, coming to you live from CFP Talks. What's going on, my man? How's
yeah,
your day?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
We are in the thick of CFP season. Life is good. Nothing could. We got football on TV. NBA Media Day has happened, which means preseason starts soon. I'm happy. I can't even be
I
upset.
always it always baffles me and is amazing how fast the NBA ends and then turns around so quickly for the next season. Like football ends and then they have like 6 months, 7 months off.
Easily.
Even baseball, which is like the longest season ever, has like a pretty long time off between, November and April the next year. Basketball, they whip that thing around so quickly.
Well, if you're playing into the playoffs, like pretty
Yeah,
much
you're
if you
going to
don't,
June.
yeah, if but you got to remember, there's if you don't make the playoffs, you're done at the end of April.
True. I
So you
know, but
have 6 months between, that and
yes,
preseason.
definitely. But I mean, like, just even the end of the season, like football ends at the beginning of February and they have off all the way till Labor Day.
Yeah, true.
Baseball ends the around Halloween, and they're off all the way till the beginning of April.
Yeah.
Basketball ends like middle of June-ish.
Yeah, it's just there's like with baseball and football, the playoffs are so short. Like, right? Like playoffs start in January and they're done in February, right? Like the end of the
Yeah.
season is
Mhm.
in December.
It's a
And
month.
then,
It's a month.
it's like the wild card game and then I don't even know the names, but the next two games and then yeah, but anyway, yeah, you're right. If you're playing into June, it's only a 4 month turnaround. It's a very short turnaround.
Mhm.
So,
Exactly.
but if you stink, you get a lot of time off, baby. 6 months
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
You get eliminated right at the beginning of May, first round.
I mean, there'd be some seasons where I'd be like, I don't even want to make the playoffs. I need a longer summer.
I'm trying to go to France this summer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
With that being said, it's a good segue to what do I do the day before the exam? And this is always kind of a interesting topic because if you talk to 10 different people, you're probably going to get 10 different answers where it'll go from I don't study at all
Well,
to I'm
yeah.
studying till 10 o'clock the night before.
Oh, I was going to say the two ends of the spectrum, one of them will be like I'm staying up and I'm like doing as much prep as I can for the next day. And obviously we've talked about that before. That is like definitely the worst. I mean, people do it and some people are successful, but I know that throughout the course of like our conversation today, that you are going to highly you're going to highly suggest against that.
Yeah, and you have to remember the context that you and I speak in. We speak in generalities. We do not speak in nuance. Meaning we are talking about what works for 80%, 85%, 95% of people. I'm not talking about out of 100 test takers, the two people who did this one thing and then went on to pass the test. That good for you. I'm happy for you, but I'm talking about for the rest of us. And if you're in that general camp of, I've been studying for the exam, I've been studying for the exam for 3 months, then at the day before the exam shouldn't be the day where you're looking to kind of squeeze the last bit. Because what I tend to find is that you tend to kind of mentally exhaust yourself that last day. And you don't want to put yourself in that position of, oh, I'm going to go in, I'm going to try to squeeze the very last bit of juice out of this little study process. That's not what we're looking for. That day is a refresh your day. Make sure that you are taking care of yourself. You're doing some self-care stuff. You're going and getting a massage. You're going to go sit in the park and read a book. You're going to just sit in a room silent, in a dark room silent by yourself. I don't care whatever it is, whatever that thing is for you that recharges your battery, you just want to disconnect from the material because, that's a put money in one pocket and take it out of the other equation for most of us. Meaning that even if you're getting this much more on that day before, it's typically at the cost of something else. And
I
so it
also
never ends up moving the needle.
I think that a lot of people will hear that, and that's advice that you gave me when I passed. You gave my whole group that. And I know you give people that advice, like, listen, like the day of or the day before, or obviously not the day of, the day before, just chill, like don't look at anything and just take it easy. I think, and I think the one objection or one hesitation that people will have on that is, well, I'm going to be really anxious not looking at anything that day and not, studying the day before the exam. And I just wanted to kind of point that out that that definitely, like, I felt the same way. I know a lot of people do. So there is something to be, said there about that's a normal feeling.
Dude, great point, by the way. Um, and that is the hardest part is your book sitting on the table, on your desk, in your office, looking at them and feeling guilty and anxious that you're not studying. You're like, there's one more day. This is the thing that's going to push me over. I think it's a very normal feeling. But I don't think it's a feeling that you give into, right?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I wanted to hear from you in terms of like what what you can do like to not give in. Because I think it'll be very easy to like, pick up some flashcards or like take a quiz and see if you remember. And I think there's just a lot of downfalls to that.
Yeah, I put my I so what I did with my books the day that I was done is I put them in my office. So I wouldn't be even tempted to study because it was almost like a out of sight, out of mind thing, like especially with CFA level 3. That's one way to do it. The other way that I did it was I would just stay out of the house the entire day. So I wouldn't be seeing my books or seeing my flashcards. The more you hang around the house and the more you look at the books, the more the temptation is going to grow to open up the book or open up your text or your grab your flashcards or do something like that. I think you have to get away from it physically. So, like for me, that was I got up, I made breakfast, I went to the gym, I went down the beach, I came back, I took a shower, I went out, uh, and I think I just went to like this. I went and watched a movie in the movie theater. Like I literally was just like inventing things to do. I took a long drive just to kind of stay away. When I took CFA level 2, I we I like I was with my study partner and we actually because of COVID protocols, we actually had to take it in Omaha. And we
Hmm.
literally like left our books in the hotel and we went out. We went got a massage. We went to like a couple of like Omaha like landmarks and we like walked
Yeah.
around and it really didn't take long because we woke up like I had flown in the night before I slept in by the time we had grabbed something to eat we also drove by the test center just to see where it was so we know what we were dealing with in the morning so we knew how far away it was and so that also kind of like took up some time but by the time we it was all said and done, it was like 7, 8 o'clock. So it was like we came back, we sat at the bar, we grabbed something to eat, and I was in bed by 9:30 to get ready for the exam the next day, which was, we kind of just had a nice long day out and about and
And that also, clears your mind. Like you always say, like, the day before, you got to kind of just really take it easy, relax, get your mind, get your body like really refreshed and like, recharged and ready for like what's going to be like an extremely intense day. I think, one of the things that like I actually found was really peaceful was you just mentioned it was going to like where the location where you were going to actually be taking the exam. Um, Number one, so you know where you're going, and that's a big help the next day. But number two, I found that drive for some reason going to the testing center and just driving there, seeing the place, and driving home to be very peaceful. You're in the car, you'll listen to some music or you'll throw on a podcast or you'll call somebody or whatever you do that like puts you in like a good state of mind and almost look at it as like a drive rehearsal. Like you're driving there and then you're driving home. I always find being in the car by myself very peaceful. And I think that's like a great thing to do the day before.
Yeah, I think it depends on the type of person you are. If you're like a person that like likes to be alone and that makes you feel peaceful, do that. I'm
I
more of a
know, and
so
I'm and you're social and I am too, but I also do like my like isolated
you're
space. Like
you're
I'm weird like that.
you're more balanced where you like your alone time, but you like your social time as well.
Exactly.
Like my sister is very much like that. She like hits a point of like social engagement and she's like, that's it, I'm done. I need to be alone.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
I'm more of like, I want to be around people 80% of the time and alone 20. You guys are probably closer to that 60, 40, 50, 50
Yeah. I'm like
balance.
60. I mean, yeah.
But I also found that like when I'm around people, my brain doesn't go down those rabbit holes and thinking about the test. So like, before level two, and that was probably the exam I was most nervous for, being there with my study partner and like, we woke up at 9:30. We went and grabbed something to eat. We were chatting at the cafe and we sat down, we had breakfast for like an hour and a half and we're just BSing with each other. And then like just like the BSing all day like kept my mind off of the exam and he was talking about his business and I was talking about my business and we were talking about like his relationship and we were just
Yeah.
talking about
It's a
life,
distraction.
you know, and like just talking about that stuff like took it away from the exam. And it just felt like for a period of time, you disconnected truly from the exam. And then it felt good the next day because you actually genuinely feel like it wasn't like I had the day off and all I did was think about the exam?
Well, I think that that goes to kind of show you and for people, there's no like right way, like, oh, what are you supposed to do the day before exam? Oh, well, here's the guide, and this is what you're going to do. It's not a one size fits all. Are there things that you can do that can enhance your um kind of make put you in the best position for the next day? Yes. For example, I would probably want to chill by myself. You would want to go chill with somebody and talk to them. Like there's no like one right thing. I think the main thing to really take away from the day before is do whatever's going to put you in the best state of mind.
Yes.
That can be go play golf. That can mean go to the movies by yourself. That can mean cook a meal that you really like. That can mean don't talk to anybody. That may mean read some of your book. Like some CFP stuff. Like if that's what's good, whatever's gonna kind of like put you in the best state of mind going into the next day, whatever that is.
Yeah. The
That may
overarching
mean
theme is
smoking 20 cigarettes.
hey, that will definitely get you. That will get you some relief. You might be jittering the next day. Your hands might be fucking like, but you're gonna feel relaxed for at least that day. I walked him from the car to the testing center, and I was coughing up a lung. But the general theme is do whatever helps you feel disconnected and get away from the exam for at least 24 hours before fully disconnect, come back, be ready to go. I promise you that those last 24 hours, they don't make the difference that you think it makes. Even if you are rushing into the end that last day, you're better off resting than necessarily doing it. You don't have to do what I do. You don't have to do what David does, but find a way that works for you to disconnect and put you in a good frame of mind to have you ready for the exam. And if you are tempted to look at your books, Put them somewhere that you won't be tempted. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay, everybody, we hope that you enjoyed this episode. With any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to reach out to David or myself, and have a great day.